All right. Good afternoon, all. It's 2:10 p.m. today. We will go ahead and start the conference. Emily, are we recording?
Yes, we are.
Okay. The Nominating and Election Committee is very, very glad to welcome the candidates. Thank you for making out the time to be with us today for this ANPA Executive Leadership interaction. That's what I call it. And we welcome the members of the organization to this first national virtual interaction. I actually prefer not to call it a debate because I believe that's a misnomer, as this is really a forum for the membership to listen to our candidates. We're very proud of the caliber of and skills of the candidates we have in front of us. We're also very happy to have you and your unwavering interest in serving our organization, especially in these roles. We recognize that at the end of this, one person obviously will serve in the position, but that does not mean that the rest of you cannot be useful for the organization. So we really ask you to please stay active with the organization, as everyone is needed to help move this organization forward. And you're very relevant in our community. Help us be relevant in the United States where we live, and also in Nigeria where we all come from. Before I proceed, you know, we cannot move forward without having our current ANPA president, Dr. Chris Okunseri, to at least say something to the candidates. So let's give him a few moments to give us a few words to the candidates and to the members. I don't know if he has signed in, if he's been able to sign in yet. I do know he told me he had a conflict. Do we have Chris up?
Madam President, I don't think so. I think
okay. So
yeah,
I will move forward. He did give me a conflict notice, some significant dental organization event that he is part of today. Yes. And as such, I will ask President-elect, who's next in line, Dr. Chinyere Anyogo, to please say a few words of welcome to the candidates and to the members.
Good afternoon. Hi, everyone. I'm Chinyere Anyogo, the president-elect. We're really excited to have all of you here today and the very capable potential ANPA executive future leaders who are coming forth with their desire to serve this great organization as we are now in an election year. As we know, the heart and the core of this organization is that of service, and it's an extreme degree of sacrifice that individuals put themselves forward to be able to do this for us and for the organization moving forward. So I congratulate all of you, irrespective of the outcome eventually of the election. We are really excited that we have very capable members who are coming forth to give us an insight towards their vision. Frank Roosevelt once said that democracy cannot succeed unless those who express choice are prepared to choose wisely. And the real safeguard of democracy is education. So we're here to be educated by them. Thank you, and good luck, everyone.
Thank you so much. That was pretty eloquent, Dr. Anyogo. So as you can see on this screen, the panelists, we're using a webinar style format, because what we want to see is our candidates and the members of the nominating committee who would be asking the questions. The candidates will receive questions that have been submitted by the membership, and there won't be any rebuttal. There'll be two nominating committee members alternating the questions. I will monitor the chat group. I ask members to please put in any follow-up question you feel you want to hear. If we have the time, we will answer it. I anticipate that the first 40 minutes, starting from now, will be devoted to this discussion with the president-elects only. They're allowed about 2 minutes to answer their questions. and say what they want to tell us. Our timekeeper is Emily. She will signal a cutoff that you have spoken too long. Just keep it short. Emily is in the secretariat, and I hope I won't have to cut off anybody because I'm sure you guys are great and you don't want to keep talking. What else we want to know? If there is time for follow-up questions, we will, present it. At the end of the first 40 minutes, we'll have a break and we'll have the second set of panelists, candidates come up, which will be the treasurers, and we'll go through the same exercise. And if there's any new information, everybody will be, will get to hear it. So thank you. Let's begin. Our first nominating committee person with a question is Dr. Esther Kuyino.
First question is to Dr. Cliff Eke. What motivates you to seek ANPA leadership?
Thank you, Dr. Okiniyu, and thanks for you guys, the organizing committee or nominating committee for organizing this event. Well, I've been an ANPA member since 1997, and in my membership by 2014, as you may know, Dr. Nkem Chukwumerije appointed me as the chair of Medical Mission Committee. From then, I've served ANPA. I revamped that committee. For 12 years prior to me taking over that chairmanship, there was no ANPA-sponsored mission. But once I took over, we've had every year very robust and growing missions, except in 2020, obviously, because of the COVID. So and over the years, we've been able to accomplish or get closer to our vision of a healthier Nigeria and a healthier world. And part of it is due to my service as not just the chair of the Medical Mission Committee, but also as a chair of the Budget and Finance Committee. As you know, I'm currently the National Treasurer, which you elected me to in 2020. And in this capacity also, I've kept our finances very sound. Even though our revenues were down, we're able to keep our expenses very low, and we're able to get some donations. Thereby, our net income is actually better than in past years. And there are many more reasons, but for the sake of time, I will say I've been involved in ANPA. I love ANPA. You see my t-shirt. I've been involved with every ANPA week activity. The only member in ANPA that has been involved since 2014 in every ANPA week is Dr. Cliff Eke. And I know the challenges we have in ANPA, and I'm here to move us to the next step for ANPA to be even greater. Right now, as you know, membership, the most membership we've had is about 650, which was during the last election series. Normally we hover around 300, 400, 450, but we have potential of 4,000 physicians, dentists.
Sorry, Dr. Eke, time is up.
Okay, so I want to make it better. We're going to do better things. That's why I think I'm the right person for this job.
So Dr. Ubesie, the same question. What motivates you to seek ANPA leadership?
Good afternoon, everybody in ANPA. So I guess you guys are trying to figure out who is Dr. Ubesie? Who is she? Why is she here? Why is she running for president-elect? I haven't seen her at conferences. I haven't seen her on the meetings. Like, who is this girl? Let me tell you, ANPA needs a new face. ANPA needs more membership. ANPA needs more money. ANPA needs to have a change in their organization, and I can bring that to you. I've been busy, very busy. I'm currently an acute care surgeon, a trauma surgeon. I've been a chair of surgery in several hospitals. I've been vice chair of surgery at several hospitals. I've held many leadership positions. I know how to be a leader, okay? But I don't want to just be a leader in medicine. I don't want to just be a leader in surgery. I don't want to just be a leader in my local community. I want to give back to my culture. My father's an OBGYN, Dr. Kanaya Ubesie. He started the first ANPA organization in Houston. He was one of the first originals in Houston. And he loved being a Nigerian. Who doesn't love being a Nigerian? I mean, come on, we're like the best of the best, we're the cream of the crop. So we have to show that. When I first went to Dallas as a general surgeon, I didn't know what ANPA was. I didn't know there was an organization for Nigerian doctors to kind of congregate and give back to their culture, give back to their home in Nigeria, and also have a support group here in the United States. That's a problem. This was in 2015, okay? This in 2015, I did not know about ANPA. That's a problem. You know, we have so many Nigerian physicians who don't know that we have an organization where we can congregate and put in the strength that we know of as Nigerians. We're intelligent, we're smart, we have resources, and we're physicians. We take care of people. We need to use all of our resources to gather up and create an organization that will take over the world. We're not there yet, and I can get you there.
Mercy, time is up.
Sorry?
Time is up. Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Your roundup. Are you done?
Time is up.
Okay,
So,
all right. Next question.
Charmaine, would you have the timekeeper give like a 60-second warning or so they can wrap up a little bit more?
Maybe 30 seconds.
Yeah.
All right, Emily, take note. All right.
The
Thank you.
next question is for Dr. Obesie. What's your plan to increase membership? Please give specific details of your plan.
So, excuse the background. I'm actually double timing. I'm at a conference for locums doctors right now. So there's going to be some noise in the background. But anyway, so I have 5 elements that can increase membership, and they each have a title. And if you read my bio that was sent out last month, those are close the gap, bring home the bread, elevate the rising stars, secure the bag, and we are family. These are each levels of topics within the ANPA community and the medical community that will bring awareness to ANPA. In order to increase the membership, you have to bring in awareness. You cannot get members if they don't know the organization exists. You cannot get members if you don't have the money to go out to get those members. So those are the things we have to kind of work on. Instead of trying to focus on how we're going to get those members, we need to go out and make sure the members even know about us first. So close the gap. There's a huge gap in culture, age, gender, Nigerian tribes, socials, and specialties. So social gaps and specialties. We need to close those gaps so that we can increase our membership. Bring home the bread. We need to support ANPA as a whole, locally and nationally and internationally with our finances. That will also increase membership. Elevate the rising stars. There are Nigerian children of Nigerian children that are in elementary school, college, high school. We need to start getting those people involved in ANPA early before they become physicians, so that once they become physicians, they already know about our organization. Then securing the bag, and we are family. Nigerians love culture. We love family. We need to emphasize that so the members feel like when they join this organization, they're not only joining an organization that will support them in their professional career, but also will support them as a family.
Same question for you, Dr. Eke. What's your plan to increase membership and specific details?
All right, thank you very much. Having been part of the system and know the challenges in ANPA, my goal and vision for ANPA, I call it keep it real. If you read my statement, REAL, and each stands for something. So I'll briefly tell you about it. First, we need to reunite. We need to get our base strong. Since the last election, as you may know, there's been some disconnect. So I want to reach and bring people together first so that we can work toward our common goal. Then I want to reboot our membership. What do I mean? I want to go to our founding members, our older members, and find out how we can keep them engaged. The next is to reach out. Yes, reach out beyond the members we have now. Like I said, we need to go, my goal is to have at least 1,000 or more members. We have a potential of 5,000 members that we can reach. And we have to reach out by not just mentoring people in college, high schools, but the doctors in residencies. And then finally, I want to give incentives for membership. I want to set up financial planning. As you may be aware, I have a webinar. We've been doing financial webinar series, which people have found very helpful. And as a national treasurer, have networks with financial institutions to actually make people get life insurance, get loans for their homes, get loans to start up their practice. And if people know that they can come to ANPA and have these opportunities, they'll be more encouraged. Finally, we need to somehow tell people what we do. ANPA does so much good. We just came back from Edo State, as you know, for our ANPA week, and we saw close to 10,000 patients, and we did 300 operations. I'm a surgeon, as you know, but we need to be able to share that with organizations, with other Nigerians on social media. So they say, wow, this great thing is happening, and we're meeting our mission. This will attract members because of the services we are giving. So those
if we're gonna, I'm sorry, if we're gonna do this debate, we have to be equal with the time. I have now been twice cut off with a time limit, and Dr. Eke has been allowed to go over the 2 minutes twice. So let's kind of be equal here with the time, please.
Thank you, Dr. Basie. Dr. Eke, sign just went up that you were up with the time. So thank you. I would ask Dr. Ubinidalo to take on the next question.
Thank you, Madam President. Good afternoon, everyone from the East Coast. My first question is to Dr. Ubesi. What is your vision for ANPA going forward? Thank you, please keep the time, 2 minutes.
Thank you. I think that the current vision for myself is to continue what's going on right now, the vision of ANPA, which is to organize Nigerian physicians locally, nationally, and internationally to create a medical organization where we give back to our culture. That is the base of our foundation. That is the base of our vision. And it behooves me to continue that vision. I'm not going to come in here and change that vision because it's a great vision. This is the essence of being part of the Nigerian community. And how we can do that is by finances, is by increasing our membership, and it's by having an overall joyful excitement for this organization. Every time I meet somebody, I will say, you know, ANPA organization amazes me every single year. You know, every single time I see someone from ANPA working in the hospital or working as an organization in an organizational manner, it's great. I was a general officer from 2020 to 2022 for Houston. Sorry, guys, there's a lot of noise in the background. In Houston, and we had a lot of community activities even through the pandemic, and it created a sense of hope, a sense of us giving back to our culture, and not just the Nigerian culture. We were seen by the African American culture as well as rising stars, and that created a sense of togetherness for all types of minorities of the diaspora.
Thank you for keeping the time. Same question for my chancellor.
All right. Thank you, Professor, for the question. My vision for ANPA, besides the things I said earlier, the next step is to elevate and educate. That's part of my keeping it real. We need to find innovative ways to educate not just the people here, like I've said, our members, even in Nigeria. We need to have a presence so that through social media, say you have your MTN or Glo or whatever, there'll be messages coming from ANPA, and ANPA will become a household name. It will galvanize us, not just here, but our brothers and sisters in Nigeria, and we can work together. I also think we need a presence in Nigeria. It's a high time that ANPA has an office and eventually a clinic. I want to help propel that. And that takes some money, which I have networks, like I've told you, financially, having been the national treasurer, for us to do that to the next level. Next, I want us to be strong in our advocacy. As you know, when we do our ANPA week, we talk to our leaders. We just met the vice president in Abuja two weeks ago, advocating for increasing our national health budget, insurance coverage, and making the atmosphere in Nigeria conducive for medical practice for our colleagues there and for some of us that want to go home. It's easy to talk from outside what you're going to do, but I've lived it. You know, I go every time. I've given my funds, I've given my time and my service to ANPA, and I've seen where we can improve better, and I'm here to help us to get to the next level. Also, I want to set up long-term systems for ANPA to grow. Not just here, but our children. As you know, I'm the founder of the American Grad Group, one of the founding members, which is equivalent to your alumni. For those of you that graduated in Nigeria, I went to medical school here, and we don't have an alumni group. In Dallas, I helped form one, And that's important because it's going to recruit our children, and people like us are going to be the face of ANPA in the future. So those are my goals.
Thank you, Dr. Eke. Dr. Benidalo, can you continue with Dr. Eke?
Yes, my Chancellor again. What's your plan to improve participation of members, both at the chapter and national levels?
Well, very important. The heartbeat of ANPA, as you know, is the chapter levels. It's like everything is local. So the first thing I'll do when I come into office is to reach out to every chapter chair and treasurer and the officials. And we're going to have a forum where we meet at least quarterly to discuss strategies. And then I want to institute best practices. What do I mean by that? If the Houston chapter, for example, has a program, a 5K walk or something that's successful, I want us to learn from them and copy it. So maybe a chapter in Southern California can do it. And also financial incentives that I've said before. If a new graduate will reach out to graduates in residency program, and they know that when they join ANPA, they have opportunity to get loans for their startup practice at a very low interest rate. They have opportunity to pay back their school loans, an opportunity to even get loans for their homes, for mortgage. I have all this in line. Since having been a treasurer, I don't want to disclose the banks and people I've been working with, but these things are there and ready to go. Even part of ANPA's success is our investment policy. For example, I came up with that idea to our ESCO and to the board. We had all our money sitting in the bank, earning 0.01%. I said, no, we have to invest some of it. Guess what? We formed the first policy statement committee, which I chaired, and we came up with the first investment policy statement for ANPA in 27 years. And now we're going to invest our 250,000 or so with Equitable to make money. All these things put ANPA in a better position for the future. Finally, ANPA Foundation. I'm part founding member of ANPA Foundation that will just be doing fundraising and getting money for us to do our missions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chancellor. Same question to Dr. Kanene Ubesi.
Thank you. So participation in any organization requires information. It requires incentive. And I honestly agree with Dr. Eke with most of his ideas. That incentive for Nigerians is also heavily rooted in financing. We need to teach our members at large and members that we haven't caught in the net of the world about how to properly and appropriately build wealth. That is a huge incentive for ANPA members. The other incentive is community. There is a gap in this community. There's an age gap, a culture gap, a social gap. We need to close that gap. We need to offer more fun things to do. For example, we have our conference every year, or ANPA has a conference every year. We need to offer things outside of that conference, retreat, just regular vacations. Has ANPA ever gone to somewhere where they just went for socialization, not for education, not for financial, just to get to know people? Hey, we're having this 1 week yacht trip and fill in the blank. Like, who doesn't want to go on a yacht trip? And that will increase participation. There needs to be incentive. And of course, all of this will trickle down from membership, participation with their membership or dues. These are some of the little things that I've noticed watching ANPA, and I noticed that will help increase the participation.
Thank you,
Sorry
Dr. Bezi. Dr. Kuyinu.
She's muted.
Dr. Kuyinu, could you unmute yourself?
Right.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah. Dr. Obesi, what is your plan to improve membership benefit? I know you talked a bit on that, but expand more on that. What is your specific plan?
So my specific plans for membership benefits, it's also incentive. Memberships, the members need to see where their money is going. That's part of the treasurer's job. They also need to see what's coming back. What is their return on that of that investment? Because honestly, Any membership dues is an investment. It's an investment for the organization and it's an investment for the member. We can't just be paying into a bank and not get a ROI or a return on that investment. So the things that we can do as paraphernalia, and I noticed the beautiful green jackets that you guys are offering at the conference this year. They're wonderful. People love that. People love to rep their set. They love to show. Dr. AK got his ANPA t-shirt on. Unfortunately, I know, right? Unfortunately, I can't do that. I'm at a conference. I gotta wear two hats now. But these are things that members like to see. They like to wear and show their pride. They also like to go to conferences and get incentives for that. CME incentive, right? Dr. Eke talked about having paying back loans. There's a little bit of buildup for that. I'm currently in my MBA, so we're talking about that as well. Incentives for organizations, financial incentives for organizations. So these are all things that members look forward to. But the base of all of this is community. We got to learn how to build community and using the member dues to build that community and create a sense of cultural identity and cultural togetherness.
Dr. AK, the same question.
Yeah.
What is your plan to improve membership?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, like I said, we need to reunite. If you've been in ANPA, we are not talking, but there's been some disconnect. That's my first task, is to bridge that gap, bring everybody together. And if you know me, I'm that kind of person, friendly to everybody, hang out with everybody, make them feel comfortable and welcome and appreciated. Once people feel that they're appreciated, they are more eager to participate. And you can see that with the medical mission committee that I chaired. We started with only 5 people that went to JOS in 2014 to 75 people that went in 2019 with Dr. Emelife in Abuja, for which they gave us chieftaincy titles, to 65 in Edo State just recently, 2 weeks ago. And the only reason it was 65 is the Edo State government capped it. We didn't have enough hotel rooms. And this is due to reaching people, making them feel valued and having them come with you on your mission. As a leader is not just managing systems. A good leader is a person who has a vision and then is able to convince people to follow him or her on that vision. And that's the kind of leader Dr. AK is. Specific incentives, besides the financial that I've told you guys, I want to set up systems that even in the future, when I become president, ANPA members, your membership dues will be free. You say, how can I do that? I have a webinar series I run on finances. We've been learning about all kinds of ways. Partnering with the appropriate company, when we buy our life insurance or we buy certain products, guess what? The company donates back to ANPA and you don't have to pay your membership dues. Everybody will join ANPA. The number 1,000 I told you is just the bare minimum. We can reach up to 4,000 members with this kind of incentives. People like something nice and good. So I plan to do all this and I have systems in place already to do it. Thank you.
Okay, following up on that, my question is to Dr. Eke. How do you plan to collaborate with, engage, influence the Nigerian government and Ministry of Health to improve healthcare, education, and general well-being in Nigeria?
Excellent question. To me, this is where ANPA needs to excel. Really, we've done some, but we need to take it to the next level. As you know, every year since 2014, I'm part of the ANPA week, and I've been going for advocacy to Abuja. We've met several people, Professor Sibanjo of the most recent. And guess what? We advocated with the president-elect, who is on this call, Dr. Anyogo, about increasing the health budget. How can we have a healthier Nigeria and a healthier world when every year the health budget has been going down? In 2014, when I took over as chair of medical mission, our national health budget was about 5%. Now it's 3.4%. And we can't do it alone. So we have to increase that. That's one thing we advocated for. Something else we advocated for is to make the environment conducive for our colleagues there to practice, or for us to go back. If I ship a CAT scan or an ultrasound to Nigeria, we shouldn't be paying so much tariff on those things. These are practical things we actually discussed with the vice president. And besides that, also, I'm a founding member of ANPA, Nigerian Physician Advocacy Group, because I know the importance of public policy. We can have great things as doctors and dentists, but with the stroke of a pen, President Buhari or President Biden can make a big change. As you may know, I was a president of the American Cancer Society, California division. And that's why I know advocacy is important. We're trying to stop smoking, stop smoking. Smoking is responsible for all kinds of bad things. We couldn't do it. Eventually, I authored an elective proposition. And eventually, with public policy, the tax on tobacco went up by $1, and that decreases smoking rates. So there are practical ways to do this. So advocacy, reaching out to our people, very important. Thank you.
Same question to Dr. Kanene Ubesi. How do you plan to collaborate with, engage, influence the Nigerian government and the Ministry of Health to improve healthcare, education, and general well-being in Nigeria?
Yes. So can you guys hear me okay? I'm outside. I hope everybody can hear me. So I recently, the last time I went to visit Nigeria was back in November. I went to go bury my grandmother. Long live her soul. But on my trip there, I met with another physician at one of the COVID clinics. He actually just opened the COVID clinic, and he opened several other ones in the area as well. And we got to talking. He's connected very heavily within the politics of Nigeria. And we had a discussion about the politics of Nigeria and how to change this, the face of Nigeria into a better, positive future. And one of those things is involving the young community. I've been harping on this since we started this forum. We have to close this age gap. We have to close this social gap. And in order to have any effect on the community or the government in Nigeria, we have to get in the young population. And not only just the young population in Nigeria itself, but the young population also across the pond in the US. And once we can collaborate together. So him and I are now working on ways to collaborate. He has his connection to the Nigerian government. I have my connection here in the United States, and we are working together to try to form a coalition for this. Also, I was part of a medical mission, the Boom Foundation. They do cardiothoracic surgeries in Enugu. They travel at least twice a year, but since COVID, they're now getting back to once a year. I'm heavily involved in that as an intensivist. I'm a surgical intensivist, and I'm working with them to kind of figure out how we can improve the system within the hospitals. Hospitals produce money. Government like hospitals because that's how they can have control of the people. And so if we can improve the hospital system and the medical system in Nigeria, we automatically have a piece of the pie in the government. And
Thank you.
The next question is for Dr. Eke.
Dr. Quinu,
Yes.
I would request you skip that question. We're short on time.
Okay.
And whoever has question number 8, please move forward with that.
Thank you. Question is for Dr. Kanene Ubesi. How do you plan to improve the annual conference?
the annual conference. So improving the conference takes experience, I will have to say. I'm not going to sit here and say I have experience of the national conference. We as Nigerians, we like to introduce ourselves with a list of our accolades. We like to say, I did this, and I've been the member since this time, and I have this, that, and the other, okay, that's fine, that's great. What are you gonna do now, right? Just because you have that experience and that particular experience doesn't mean that you're the only one capable of improving a situation. I'm a surgeon. Doesn't mean I can't go into a medical ICU and improve the situation in medical ICU because we all have the same basic foundation. I have a vision for ANPA. That's all you need. You need a vision and a plan. And so my vision and my plan to improve the conference is first to improve the membership. We got to start at a local level. We can't improve a national conference if we don't have the local level involvement. And to improve the local level involvement, we've already talked about how to improve membership, how to improve participation. Once you do that at the base, at the foundation, and engage people, you got to engage people. You got to be what people have to want to come to ANPA. They got to see warm, happy faces, excited faces, people that actually want to come and be your friend, work for you. You know, give you money. You know, these are things that actually strengthen the foundation, and with that, it will strengthen the conference as well.
Thank you. Same question to my Chancellor of Exchequer. How do you plan to improve the annual conference?
Well, thank you, sir. And I'm glad Dr. Biese made a very good point. Experience matters. Dr. Eke is experienced. Dr. Eke is known. Dr. Eke has been on all conferences and conventions. And now he's a national treasurer who is involved with the financial and the planning of this. So first of all, besides the experience, I think we start with the IT registration. We have to be able to have a seamless registration. Click a button, boom, be able to register. We had some challenges this time, and that's going to be, improved. And besides registration, we have to make noise. We have to sing our own praise. We have to toot our horns sometimes to tell ANPA, to tell people the good things we're doing, in ANPA, and that will attract them. We have to give people, our members, value. We have to provide something of value for them. Like I mentioned, for example, for this meeting, I have 4 platinum sponsors, which Dr. Eke brought for ANPA. That's $15,000 each times 4. Each of those sponsors have programs they're going to present to us. And if our members find value in it, guess what? They're going to come. And we're going to do fun stuff. Fun stuff. Like I told you, I helped fund the American grad group. That was the most fun in Dallas compared to any of the alumni groups. Everybody came to ours. Why? We had music, we had food, we enjoyed ourselves. And we plan to do that in Charlotte. We have a fun thing planned over there. So, and then another important thing is to get good speakers. And I learned this in Washington, D.C. when Dr. Emelife brought Chimamanda. That was huge. We could barely accommodate people because we have somebody of importance. And because of my connections and network, we're going to bring great speakers, not just for our CME, also for the gala night. And that will bring people to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Eke.
Dr. Quino, please.
Next question is for Dr. Eke. What leadership skills and experience make you the best candidate for this position?
Wow, very good question. I wish we had time to introduce more, but I'll give you a brief summary of myself so people will know me. Born in Owerri, went to Government College Owerri, bachelor's degree, Bello University here, medical degree, Loma Linda University School of Medicine. And I did my residency here in general surgery and also fellowship in thoracic surgery. I'm an assistant clinical professor of surgery at Loma Linda University School of Medicine. And for my philanthropy, I founded Chima Medical Missions International, 1994. After when I was doing my residency, I've been doing missions. I'm past executive director of IMO Medical Mission, which is where Dr. Chukwumerije saw my results, not just talk, results. And that's why he made me the chair of ANPA Medical Mission. And specifically to ANPA, I've been a servant since 2014. And I've told you many things I've done, including being innovative. The only virtual mission that's ever been done in the world, and we have a paper to prove this, was done in 2021. Guess who got the idea? Dr. Cliff Eke, the presidency and the board bought it. We did it successfully. So, and I was past president of the American Cancer Society in California division, which is huge. So I have these experiences. And it's not just experience, accomplishment. If you worked with me, you know I'm a team player. I've worked with 4 past presidents, Drs. Chukwumerije, Adeyanju, Emelife, and Okunseri successfully. You can talk to them, they know how I roll. I've also mentored many young ANPA members, too numerous to mention, as well as DMPT, Distinguished Nigerian Physicians of America. These are the young people who are the future of ANPA. And collaborations, many committees, IT committee, Club Express, Cliff Eke was involved to make our website better, advocacy, and organizations. Talk to NAPSA, our pharmaceutical group, our nurses group. I know all of them. So basically, I have the experience and I'm the most qualified for this job. Thank you.
Dr. Obesie, the same question. What leadership and experience make you the best candidate for this position as president?
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, it got a little loud with the conference. I had to find a quiet corner, literally in a corner right now. So you guys have all read my statement. I've had numerous leadership roles. In college, I was the president of African Students Association, and we had various events through that. We have an event called Fest Africa, and my year, well, I haven't checked the last 6 years, but my year was the most eventful, most financially eventful as well. And also I was president of SNMA, Student National Medical Association, in my 4th year of medical school. I was vice chair at 2 different hospitals, chair of surgery. So not only have I had presidential roles and high responsibilities in organizations, cultural organizations, African American organizations, and medical organizations, I've learned how to deal with people. Being a president or being a president, like being any type of leadership role, you have to learn how to deal with people. You have to learn how to be inviting to people. These are the qualities that the greatest leaders show. You also have to be vulnerable. You know, vulnerability is not something that us Nigerians like to hear, but it's something that a great leader will have and create that safe space for people around them. You have to be one of the people that people can go to you and say, hey, I have this problem, or I have this idea, I have this negative thing, I have this positive thing. I need you to help me with this. Can you help me with this? These are all characteristics of great leaders. We can all teach monkeys how to do X, Y, and Z. You can't teach a monkey how to be a great leader. You can't teach a monkey how to have great characteristics to be that sort of leader. And so these are all the qualities I have. I behoove everybody to read my statement. And if you have any questions, I can definitely get together with you offline. I'll be happy to.
Thank you, Dr. Obese. My follow-up question is, the last question is, what logistical plans do you have for ANPA in this digital era, vis-a-vis its vision of a healthier Nigeria in a healthier world?
So I do believe ANPA, oh, was that for me first?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I didn't know who's in order. I do believe that ANPA does not have a strong media presence. And like I said, I think that's a gap of the culture. I think that's a gap of the age and the societal norms that we have currently. And that's easy to fix. It's so easy to fix. I do have a media presence. I'm very proud of it. I like to show what it's like to be a human being. I wasn't born Dr. Ubesi. I wasn't born with an MBA behind me. I wasn't born with all these accolades behind me. When I was born, okay? That was who I was. I was not born Dr. So-and-so. And so you have to get to, when people are not able to relate to you, you have to get down to your roots, and you have to show people who you are behind all the accolades. And I think that's what ANPA needs to show in their media presence. I'm perfect for that. We can create that. And I think once we get the media present, everything else will fall into place.
Thank you. Dr. Cliff Eke, what logistical plans do you have for ANPA in this digital era, vis-a-vis its vision of a healthier Nigeria in a healthier world?
Very good question. And I'll start off by saying, I actually started this already in 2021. In 2022, we couldn't go to Calabar because of COVID. And 2021, we almost didn't go again until I talked to Dr. Okunseri. I said, listen, COVID has changed the landscape of how we practice medicine. As a surgeon, I was doing telemedicine from home. I said, wow, Dr. Chris Okunseri, why don't we try a virtual medical mission? He laughed initially, but then he saw that it was possible. Now, how can ANPA do that? We don't have any digital equipment. Guess what I did? I reached out to a company, Telehealth, and I was able to get them to donate to build a customized platform for ANPA virtual medical mission, which we use. And I think you were part of that mission, Dr. Benidalo. And it was very successful. We used iPads, we used tablets. Dr. Emily Faye was consulting on nephrology patient in Calabar, and that is innovation. And that was my idea. Going forward, yes, Dr. Obese is right. We need media presence. And I've said it before, not just here, especially in Nigeria. What I plan, and I have connection with MTN and other telephone companies, is to start messaging health messaging, for health literacy. Most people in Nigeria have cell phones now. So every time they do something, we start teaching them. Even, for example, COVID. Some people don't think COVID exists, but we can make messaging for that. And besides that, PHC, the primary health care pilot program now we're doing in Edo State. I'm part of the consultants that are taking care of patients we've already operated on. I'm going to be doing follow-up care with the help of Dr. Philip Oseobo, and we're setting systems digitally to do it. So I'm not talking just what I'm going to do. I'm going to build up of what I've done. I've been thinking about this. So this is the right guy for you if you want to go into the digital age and the new system for ANPA. And I'll get you a system that ANPA owns. And we're going to have our own medical records and we'll do our missions. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, nominating committee members that have asked these questions very smoothly. Thank you, Dr. Benidalo and Dr. Kuyinu. This has been interesting for me, and I have learned a lot about our two candidates. I noticed looking at the chart that we have a few questions. We have run over, but luckily we have an opportunity actually to extend a few more minutes if Dr. Bezier and Dr. Eke would not mind. So I can ask just 3 questions that came up on the chart room. I'll start with the last one, which is, could the candidates, this came from Dr. Dira, could the candidates tell us their leadership philosophy, what guides their leadership style and directs their leadership decisions? Of course, I will start with Dr. Bezier.
So from a young age, I've always thought of leaders as people that you can go to and be able to talk to, people that have your best interests at heart. And leaders make tough decisions. That's why they're leaders, you know. There's a lot of things that we have to decide on for the betterment of the whole. And so I've learned at an early age how to make those decisions. And I've capitalized on those decisions as I grew into the person I am today. You have to listen to everybody. Everybody's word is important. Now you have to listen to everybody's word in confinement, or otherwise everyone will keep talking. But everybody's opinion is important. It doesn't matter what it is, you know, it's always important, because why? Every opinion comes from a human being. And whether is the sky blue or green, or is your hair color black, you know, it's still an important opinion. And then based on those opinions and based on that information, that's how you make the decisions and make sure that it's for the greater good. Not everybody's going to be happy with the decision. Not everybody's going to be happy with the platform that you take, but at least the majority will. And that's what kind of guides good leadership.
Thank you. Dr. Eke.
Yeah, thank you. Very important question. To me, the first thing is making people feel valued. It's just simple. When you see somebody, hello, how are you? Maybe a hug, and mean it. Be honest and be real. I like that word real, R-E-A-L, stands for a bunch of stuff. When you see me, I'm not fake. When I talk to you, you know I'm with you. When I disagree with you, you also know. So being very transparent. I believe in listening. Very important tool for a leader, not just speaking. You got to listen and get feedbacks before you make that decision. And like I said before, a good leader is someone who has a vision, not just a manager. Different. A manager manages systems. You tell them go what to do and they just do it. A leader has a vision. And then he or she has the ability to convince people around him to see that vision and work toward successful team efforts. I believe in collaboration. So it's not just me. I have to work with several people to get things done. And you know that from working with each of you, that I am that team player. And a leader has to be humble. Even when you achieve great things, you got to have that humility to give credit to people that helped you, because you can't do it alone. Finally, a leader has to be a servant. You got to be in the field. You got to be there. And you know, when we go on medical mission, who is the last to leave the operating room? Dr. Eke, operating to 1:30 a.m., 3 a.m., and then the next day I'm there smiling and we're going. So I'm not just talking, I'm doing it. This is reality of being a leader. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So I'll ask the final question because we're out of time. And this came from Dr. Hezi. What is your plan for ANPA advocacy? Give specific examples of your successful experience with government bodies. Dr. Eke.
Wonderful. as you know me, I believe in advocacy, big time, which is why I was one of the founding members of ANPA, our sister organization. Like I said before, and also I belong with the, ANPA has an advocacy committee, as you know. However, because of our 501c3 status, there's a limit on what we can do, which is why we argued and convinced the board and the membership to form ANPA. You saw me at that time with Dr. Yoro James and other founding members to make it happen. And since we formed NPAG, we've actually had impacts, not just here, not just in the US. We were able to form another group, a PAC, to sponsor not just Joe Biden, but the Georgia Senate race. We turned Georgia to blue from red. You can go look it up. You can go to mpag.org and you see what we've done. Besides that, also, we've done stuff in Nigeria. We partnered with Shift Nigeria, where we have to change our mentality. Nigerians, we can't just stay there and pray, oh, God, bring us a new president. No, we have to make it happen. Guess what? We have partnership where we're doing voter registration. So you get your PVC card. In fact, we're supposed to do it in Edo State. We're still working on it. It didn't work out during this mission. These are the things. We empower the people, get them registered so we can vote the right people in power. And now we can start making changes toward a healthier Nigeria and a healthier world, not just by talking. So advocacy is a very, very important agenda for me. And I've been on advocacy meetings many times. I'm not just talking. I've been there each time I met the presidents, the senators, and all these people. It takes time to convince them. But if we can empower the people to vote, now we can start making changes. And also we have money. When they know we have money and we have the vote, they'll listen to us. Thank you. You're muted, Dr. Omelefe.
Thank you, Dr. Basie.
Thank you. So the thing with advocacy, ANPA has been involved in advocacy for many, many years, and we're still in the same spot. So we need to do something different. We need to bring new people in. We need to bring new faces in. We need to have new conversations, and we need to put people in those places and those conversations that are willing to have those conversations, willing to go up against the grind. I have a history of experience going up against the grind in politics. Not particularly Nigerian politics, but politics, period. And I think with that baseline, you have to know who you're talking to. You have to know who you're playing with in the sandbox. And you have to have your cards in your back. The cards as far as people, knowledge, knowing what you're trying to say, how to say it, when to say it, and what to do afterwards. So we talk about advocacy in Nigeria, and this is a very hot topic because nothing has changed. When are we going to start turning the tide? When are we going to start to bring new people, get the old people out, bring the new people, bring in the conversations so that we can have brand new, fresh conversations, and so that the ones that we're actually talking to in the government will see us and be like, oh, I haven't seen this person before. Let me listen to what they're saying. And then maybe they'll hear it in a different way. I've already talked about this question. I think we had a similar question before, but I'm already connected with someone in politics and medicine. One person, he's connected to 5 other people. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you so much. At this point, we will conclude this segment of interact communication or getting to know our members. So I thank you so very much, Dr. Basie and Dr. Eke. I thank you, our panelists, for giving us the questions very smoothly and nicely, Dr. Kuyinu and Dr. Ibinidalo, and of course the Secretariat for a smooth operation. Thank you, members. We are going to go into a short 5-minute intermission or less so that we can bring on our treasurer candidates. Thank you so very much, Drs. Eke and Dr. Basie. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a great afternoon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes, Dr. Honorable, I see your question. At the peak, we had 62 members dial in. Emily, if we are done and all the candidates are up, we can turn on and start. Okay, so we need all right, I will move on to start because I see I still have members on. I need a treasurer candidates on. Emily, do we have Dr. Mercy on? Do I see her? She texted me that she's on, so please give her ability to be. Yes, she's on here, so allow her to. Dr. Mercy Edionwe. Okay, Dr. Mercy is on now, so thank you, everybody. I think we can start. Dr. Bami Boye, I see a message from him. He is, can you enable a Tosin phone? Okay. All right. Thank you. So at this time, we will start so I don't waste any more time. Thank you, members.
Madam President, can you enable my video, please?
Oh, please, can you enable Dr. Getty Ayanwoke's video, please?
No, it says failed.
As in everything electronic, there's always a glitch. So we have a little glitch. Dr. Ayanwoke, okay, I see Dr. Ayanwoke now. The glitch is fixed. So we must proceed. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, members, for being on. We have already done the introductions. Our president-elect was able to welcome everybody, and that still stands. So the next segment of this debate, or what I call a misnomer, is actually interactions, and our members just telling us a little bit about themselves. The process would be the panelists is myself and Dr. Bami Boye will be asking the questions, and the two panelists are currently candidates, Dr. Getty Ayanwoke and Dr. Mercy Edionwe. And of course, we have Secretariat staff supporting us. And without further ado, I want to proceed. We have the questions ready, but I recently have some information that I would like brought to the attention of the membership. And I would prefer to have our candidate speak to us. So welcome candidates, welcome Dr. Ayanwoke, and welcome Dr. Edionwe. At this point, can I allow Dr. Mercy Edionwe speak to the organization?
Thank you, Dr. Emelife, and thank you everyone who's involved in this election process. Can you guys hear me? I want to make sure I'm loud and clear.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So yes, I'm Dr. Mercy Edionwe. I'm the current ANPA National IT Chair, and I just wanted to read the statement. It is taking me moments to reflect on these past 2 years, having been instrumental in revamping the website by working tirelessly directly with the developers to ensure that we get a high quality product that took months in the making, but was well worth it in the end. In addition to that, alongside Dr. Susan Edionwe and other executive committee officers, I was integral in the initiation of Club Express, our membership platform, which we continue to work on to get to its optimal state. Recently, I had the pleasure to work as bylaw editing committee chair alongside Drs. Anyubo and Dr. Abayewana to ensure that what was approved during the ANPA National Board meetings were reflected in the final versions of the bylaw revisions. So when one of our colleagues approached me about running for treasurer, I jumped at the chance. To me, it was an honor to serve it is an honor to serve as ANPA National Treasurer. However, unfortunately, life obligations sprung on me, and I realized that I cannot fully commit to this position at this time. Therefore, I officially withdraw my nomination for ANPA National Treasurer. Although withdrawing due to current situations, I have not removed the possibility of my running again later in the future. I wholeheartedly believe that Dr. Anyuwoke would make a great ANPA National Treasurer. Like me, she comes with dedication to ANPA and a fountain of new ideas. So I'm proud to support my friend as the new ANPA National Treasurer.
That is so sweet, so kind, and we appreciate you, Dr. Edionwe, for all the work you have been doing with ANPA. And as I said before, at the end of all of this, only one person can really serve in the position, but so many of us can serve the organization and continue to serve the organization in many different levels. We definitely are sorry to see that you're not running now, but I know you will run later, and I know you will continue to serve. So thank you so much for all you do, and we are still expecting a lot from you. We had a discussion with our committee, and this scenario came out, played itself, and we didn't know at that time that we would have a withdrawal. The nominating committee members thought that it would still be nice to proceed and talk to the candidate, even if it's one standing. So what this means is that it's a shorten the time for this, exercise, and we will proceed with asking Dr. Ayanwoke a few questions that already have been submitted for the treasurers. Once again, thank you so much, Dr. Edionwe. and we will proceed with the question, and we'll be quick. It's 2 minutes, Dr. Ayanwoke, to answer these questions. And if you can stay direct and straight to the point, we should be able to be out of here by 3:30, 3:40 mask. So I will start with Dr. Bami Boye asking the first question.
Thank you, Dr. Emelife. This to Dr. Ayanwoke. So what motivates you to seek ANPA leadership? Why are you running for the position?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Bamiboye, and thank you, Dr. Emelife. Let me please take a moment to thank my friend, Mercy. Like she said, we met each other in ANPA, but we've become friends. We're both committee chairs, and we know what we've gone through working together to put ANPA in a good light. So when we both decided to run, we both decided that it was not going to be cantankerous, and we were going to do this respectfully. I totally respect her decision, and I congratulate her for the courage. What motivates me to run for ANPA leadership? All my life, I have been a community person. I love to work together in collaboration, because in as much as I'm a community person, I can do a lot of stuff by myself. But if you want to go far, you go far with more people. So I have realized that community is what you need. When I joined ANPA and I saw the caliber of people in ANPA, I knew that working together with these people, we will actually go far. And I have never, ever, ever regretted that decision, because I know that you have a mass of Nigerian doctors, dentists, and other healthcare professionals working together for the betterment of our Nigeria. You can't beat that. So that's what motivates me to run. I'm a community person, and I love to work with other people in collaboration to benefit my community. Thank you.
Dr. Bami Boye.
Yes. So Dr. Ayanwoke, the second question. What will you do to get members to pay their dues on time?
So, very good question. Like every organization, due paying can be cantankerous, can be really hard. A lot of times though, when I look at ANPA and I talk to my friends who are not in ANPA, it's like some of them just don't see the value. I would give you, for instance, I pay my dues to AMA, ACP, IDSA. I even don't attend their meetings. But there is a perception of value, because you look at the news, AMA is advocating or doing this for the doctors, and AMA is doing that, ACP is doing this, IDSA is doing that. So you feel that there is value, they have you covered. You don't need to attend the meeting. You know that they have you covered. Perhaps ANPA needs to look inwards and see, what is it we need to do to show that we're adding value? ANPA does a lot of the things that these other organizations do, but we are not known for those things. Let me give you an example. We recently went to Benin for the ANPA medical mission, and we in-house in ANPA, those of us committed, dedicated members, we know. So basically we're telling ourselves, well, there was some publicity in Benin and a little bit in Nigeria, that we need to put a microphone or an amplifier and amplify this stuff. A lot of the Nigerian doctors here don't even know about it. If any of my classmates are here, they will tell you this. When I put just a few of what we did at the medical mission in my class group, the amount of interest it generated, that same day, a number of my classmates decided to join ANPA. This is what we need to be doing. Get the membership. When they see the value, they will pay their dues for the most part of it. I'm not saying 100%, but for the most part of it, people have to see the value. Thank you.
Dr. Ayanwoke, as the treasurer, you work under the president, and the plans of the organization is based on what the president and the board has planned. However, how would you make sure that the local chapters get their portion of the membership dues paid to the national, so that the chapters can continue to do their work?
Thank you, Madam President. And I'll also say how the national pay the local chapters, because this is a two-way street. It's not only the local chapters paying the national, but we can, Dr. Eke talked about the financial committee that he has, which is statutory in ANPA. If all the treasurers are there, we can have quarterly meetings and we can talk about remittance of dues. We can unify the processes of ANPA. And this is what I talked about in my statement about re-engineering our processes. You're right. I work at the, I work because the board sets rules and the executives, there's the president, but I believe that being in the ESCO, I can make some input into how we can make it better also for the local chapters. So how would I make get the local chapters pay in is to have a close relationship with them. These quarterly meetings that we have, bring it up, have email reminders because people are busy. This job we do is voluntary work. So we remind them, but also make sure there are some members that are paying into the national coffers. Remit those funds too, so they see you doing what you're asking them to do. When you do what you're supposed to do, other people will rise to the occasion. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. To be sure, I asked, how do we make sure that the local chapters get their own portion of the money that has been paid to the national?
Okay, I thought you were saying how we get that money from them. So how do we make sure? I just outlined it. I will make sure, because I'll have a close relationship with them. We're going to have quarterly meetings, and that I wouldn't stop at quarterly meetings. I hope they have a forum, the treasurers. If they don't, we will establish one so that we are talking. Because when you stay on the ball and you're talking and going back and forth, know what their issues are and know what your issues are, you can come to a resolution. I honestly don't think it's a big deal because as chapter chair, I know how frustrating this is. So definitely that's one thing on my bucket list of amongst the things to fix. Thank you.
Thank you. The treasurer is the leader of the national treasurer is the leader of all the treasurers. So you set the meeting. So I'm sure that you would follow through with that. Next question is, how can ANPA diversify its investment to get a better financial turnover? Part of this was already started in the previous, and how do you make sure that that continues?
So I know that recently we have chosen an investment portfolio, and there is a committee that follows this. There will be no rash decision from me right now because I actually support that investment portfolio. What I will make sure is that keep to the ball of the quarterly meetings, review the reports by the investment companies, see what can be beneficial to ANPA, look at where are the threats and be able to call the attention of the executives and the boards if I feel that there is a threat with my committee. But for now, I'm not going to make any changes because this has just been approved and it has not even been implemented. Thank you.
Dr. Bamiboye.
Dr. Anyawoke, so the position of the treasurer is a very important position in ANPA leadership. So what leadership skill and experience, etc., make you the best candidate for this position?
Thank you for the question. So my leadership skills is what I'll talk about first, then I'll talk about my experience. I think honesty goes a long way. And if you know me, you know I'm an honest person. Compassion. Being able to do as you say, not as you, being able to do what you say and not say one thing and do something else. Those are the main qualities that I use as leadership skills. In addition to being a servant leader, because I believe that when you're put in a position to lead other people, you're actually there to serve them. You're not there to marshal out orders. You're not there to tell them how it's going to be. You're there to listen, and you put it all together and help them, guide them to where they need to accomplish. My leadership experience, it goes a long way. I was one of the senior prefects in my high school in Lagos. I also was the chair of the hostels, of the female hostels, when I was in University of Lagos, up school. And I became you know, those leadership skills, I will tell you this little story. Before I became chair, Our school was built in 1962. I was chair in the 90s. And as at that time, there had never been any renovation in the whole hostels. And I remember myself and my committee engaged the school authorities. Long story short, the vice chancellor of the school at that time was Professor Janilio Motola. I don't know if anybody knows him here, but you need to know who he was. And he said, we were always asking for stuff and we needed to do something before the school can even look at the buildings that were all dilapidated. If you come into our bathrooms, we had stalactites and stalagmites in there. And what did we do? My executive at the hall level put together a fundraising event, activities, and we were able to raise money, enough money to paint one of the hostels. Once we repainted our hostel, we went back to the school authority, and the school authorities had to fund the whole, not just female hostel this time. Now I was the chair of the female hostel, not just the female hostel, but the male hostels too. Everything was renovated, not only painted, but renovated. Toilets, the bathrooms, the kitchenettes.
Thank you, Dr. Ayanwoke. The time is up. We appreciate what you're telling us.
I could go ahead and talk about more leadership. I haven't talked about
I have asking the next. So I have the honor of asking the next question. What logistical plans do you have for ANPA as the Secretary Treasurer in this digital era, vis-a-vis his vision of a healthier Nigeria in a healthier world?
So in terms of logistics, where a treasurer will come in is making sure that the funds are available and that you put in place systems that will make sure that we're not hampered when it comes to funding our programs. So the logistical issues there will be once ANPA is planning a program and you have a budget, you know what you're going to spend in terms of the capital spending. And you put that process in place. Like I believe in re-engineering of our processes and our fundraising towards anything that we want to do. So those are the kind of things that I will put in place as treasurer of ANPA to make sure that the work of the treasury is being done appropriately.
Thank you, Dr. Ayanwoke. Next question, from a member, it goes this way, and please listen because I get confused even reading it. So how do you see and assess threats and weaknesses in our current fiscal structures?
Okay. Our current fiscal structures, basically we're talking about, basically we're talking about our revenues and being able to collect our money, how we're going to spend it. I would say that, yes, there are certain weaknesses and threats. I'm sure we all here know about SWOT analysis. If we don't know, it's the, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in a business. I would say this though, until I got into MBA, I didn't grasp the concept very well. But since being in there in MBA, I've written a few SWOT analysis. So I should be able to tell you about ANPA because this is something I think about a lot. Our weaknesses, I really think can be narrowed down into a few. And I'll name two. Number one, ANPA has the chapters as the bread and butter of ANPA. That is where majority of our membership is. However, it looks, and this is coming from the perspective of somebody that has been a chapter chair twice, that the chapters are not necessarily priorities in the scheme of things in ANPA. If the secretariat and national body supports the local chapter, it will help the local chapter to grow more. And that growth will be an indirect contribution. So that's one weakness. Number two, the committees that do work in ANPA. A lot of fine people with so many wonderful credentials, but little support in their work. It can deflate you. And that deflation can cause you to not do as much as you could. Just doing that will mean people in the community might actually get to come into ANPA as a result of people they know that are in committees. But we have to be more supportive in them doing their work. We have committees that have no budgets. or our own shoestring budgets. We are a national organization. These committees do a lot of the work and they deserve the support of the ANPA national body and the secretary. So that is a big weakness. And if we do not fix those weaknesses, they will eventually lead into the threats. Now, let me talk about the threat. And there is one big threat I see. I have heard that we represent maybe more than 4,000 healthcare practitioners. And as I know, we do not have up to 20% of those people we represent currently in ANPA as paying members. Now, think about it. If you have more than 80% of your possible population outside, don't you think that is a threat? Anyone can form something that they can sell to these people that will actually be a threat to ANPA. So ANPA needs to move with the time. ANPA needs to incorporate certain ideas that will bring more of our membership in-house so that it's not a threat for us with possible other people providing what it is that they're looking for. To be honest, membership, growing our membership should be one of the areas that we should fix. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Onyewoke. And the next question, and we are slowly getting to the end, so bear with me, everybody, and thanks for your attention. The next question is, membership dues is $1 a day. To what value and how do you see this as adequate physically for the organization, or do you not see it?
Membership $1 a day, meaning $365 a year. That's ANPA membership due. I think it's appropriate. I think it's adequate. Why do I say it so? I belong to other organizations. I belong to, I just said IDSA, I belong to ACP, all of these AMA. I pay more than that a year. And I don't even attend their meetings. And I can't say one thing. I mean, I got one of my life insurances through AMA. Those are values though, it's because I value it. Once we can make sure we show people the added value that comes with being a member of ANPA, I don't think $1 a day is too much.
Thank you. Dr. Bamiwoye for the final question.
Thank you, Dr. Emelife. Dr. Onyewoke, so what is your ballpark goal for ANPA's portfolio during your term of office? And what is your plan to attain this goal? Please give specific details.
Okay, so as it is right now, ANPA gets a budget every year. My goal will be to see in that budget, how do I introduce the items that would help us re-engineer our processes? When I talk about re-engineering processes, I'm talking about look at it top down. So you have to get in there first. Look at the books. Where is it that we can change stuff? Not because we've always done it this way, but how can we do it better? Are there information systems, resources that we can use to get better? To improve our fundraising activities? Because if you do a membership drive and you increase membership, specific ideas here is you make short clips of what it is, what are the values of being a member of ANPA. And you don't get tired, you don't do it haphazard or half-hearted. You stay on it, you put the message out there. You go to Nigerian groups where you can get these doctors that will eventually come over. And also you introduce other things. That is if the president and the expo and the board will allow the treasurer to do all this stuff. So when you specific, I do have my specific, but I realize that I am accountable to the ESCO and to the board. But yes, these are my ideas. To put, we could do like a national scholarship amongst Nigerian students that are medical students. It might be just 1,000 for maybe 10 students. That will put ANPA in front of them. A lot of things that we can do, it doesn't require too much money, but then it does require some money. So it will need to be approved by the boards. And I believe that I have the power of persuasion, that I can persuade the ESCO and also probably persuade the board. I could speak more, but I think she says that my time is almost up, so.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Ayanwoke. I like the realization you keep espousing every time you speak, that the treasurer is accountable to the ESCO and the leadership of the organization, and the leader of the organization is the president working with the board. So by talking to them and persuading and everybody working together, I'm sure you all can achieve these goals. Thank you so much. I would say, and I'm sure everybody agrees with me, that we've had and listened to excellent candidates. I'm sure you all agree with me after you've listened to them. I hope the organization heard them and took away whatever they said, and hopefully the next set of leaders and boards will definitely do something about the suggestions they've heard. I've looked at the charts. I've only seen comments. There are no new questions. I would at this point thank all the candidates and all the members for your attention. You actually held your attention. I'm very impressed, and you stayed participating and listening. So thank you very much. With no further questions there to answer, or I would say we have come to the end of this, and on time. It's 3:38. It's not even 3:40 p.m. So this is excellent. Thank you so much, and good luck to our candidates. Thank you. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.